Yes, because I have to, then in theory, that's when I'll bring numbers together so they can also have a good although even though it's like 5, and most of us forget things like these. I have tied them around my hair so crazy. I'm just not a scarf. Like I used to wear them. How are you? evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. In a room full of teachers, I'm sure we can do better than that. Good evening. I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome to the 2023 voting meeting. We have a live stream going in the back, so everyone who's presenting, we need you to use the microphone so that they'll be able to hear that. And then if you need to review later for questions you may have asked and you forgot the answers or whatever, you can actually go to the link that was emailed out this morning, and that should have the recording of this as well. So you are captured forever. I'm very happy to have you all here. I am Liesl Dish. For everyone, I think you all pretty much know who I am. Just in case, Liesl Dish, nice to meet you. I would like to introduce you to the rest of our foundation team. Celia Shoulders right here, the executive director of the foundation. And in the back there is Steve Dabrowski. He's our new director of development. I think you've been 4 months now, Steve, right?
Yep, still wet behind the ears.
Yep, he's still green. We'll get him broken in though. And so we're very happy to be with you all tonight and to do our voting meeting. So I'd like to keep everything moving. I know everybody has lots of fun things going on this time of year, so we will be as quick as possible and informative as well. First, we're going to do a quick review of previously funded proposals. So in particular, the slide that I'm going to show next is actually attached to the back of your packets. So you can follow along and take that with you. You just need to know, like, what have we done before. That's also available on these boards that are on the side here. We won't go through everything in detail. I'm just going to touch on really what we did last year so everybody's got it fresh in their minds. And then we'll talk about what we currently have going on with the Circle of Ivy, proposal presentations, how to vote, and we're all free. So, yay! In the back corner there, if you didn't get a chance to sign in, there are some sign-in sheets that include, of course, signing in for the meeting. And then also, if you haven't RSVP'd for the September brunch event, which will be September 22nd from 10:30 to 12 here in this room, you can go ahead and do it on that paper, and I'll enter it for you so that you don't have to worry about doing the email RSVP. So feel free to sign up there if you need to. And I'd like to just give a quick acknowledgement to our beautiful Chancellor, Daniela Vidal, who breezed into the room. But that's Daniela back there. If anybody doesn't know her, hopefully you pretty much all do. So yeah, all right. So that's the work of Steve. The origami slide change. So mostly what I want to go over, because many of you have already heard about projects that have been funded in the past, and if you have questions about any of these, I'll be happy to go over them in more detail with you after we're done presenting tonight. But last year, our funded projects included Stamp Your Passport, Global Learning is for Everyone. We did Advising Technology, where we provided tablets for the, I love how I just made that with my hand, tablets for the advising department so that they could move students through the registration process faster and get them set up for their classes. And then Ivy Success, Look Good, Feel Good, Do Good, which was a program created by our CareerLink Career Services team. And finally, Adult Education and Literacy programs, which included funding testing for HSE testing through the CareerLink program as well. So, do you have any questions about those? I know I'm just hitting on it very lightly, but just wanted to give a quick refresher since we just popped in. Wonderful. All right. So tonight we have 7 programs to review. The current state of our Circle of Ivy, we have an active membership of 61 members. Because we're so early in the year compared to where we were last year, when we did our voting meeting, there are some who are still coming back into their renewal phase. So current membership is 61. Funds available toward this year is $20,000. So last year, or I'm sorry, in 2020, we had awarded $3,000 for the purchase of hotspots for rural areas. And it turns out that Circle of Ivy did not need to purchase those because there were COVID funds that were available to cover those instead. So we're rolling that into what we're awarding this year. Everybody good? Wonderful. And then I'd like to introduce our new Guiding Circle liaison. So this lovely lady will be coordinating with the Guiding Circle in Indianapolis, which kind of sets the tone for how everything in the state goes through the Circle of Ivy, and they will also, she'll be representing Evansville and what our circle needs, wants, does, etc. up there, bringing us new fresh ideas. And that is Suzette Hirschman, who's over here, this far table. Yay. And then we also have an advisory committee. If you're interested in helping with this group, we are happy to welcome more members to it. The advisory committee includes Lisa Jones, Sue Schreiber, Sharon Bray, Jamil Thacker, Cindy Moore, Gail Lindsay, and Julia Hinkle-Higgs. So thank you for everybody for your time and support in helping our circle grow and be amazing. All right, see how fast we are? Great. All right, so our first project that will be presented tonight will be from Andrea Jefferson with a request of $1,616 for polos for pre-service teachers. Andrea? Hi, thank you for coming. Thank you. Let you pass that, and you can just hit the space bar when you want to show your other
Okay,
slide.
thank you. Good evening. I'm Dr. Andrea Jefferson. I'm the program chair of elementary and secondary education. Like many of you, I come from the K-12 space where I taught for many years, and now I have the privilege of training future teachers. So it's just an honor and a privilege to be here as a Circle of Ivy member presenting this proposal to you. So our program is unique in the sense that we are thriving at a time when teacher education programs across the state are diminishing. It's no secret that Indiana, like many states across the country, is facing a pretty critical teacher shortage, and Vanderburgh County and surrounding areas are no different. And I'm happy to report that Ivy Tech's education program has grown to its 5-year high. We have 71 students in the program, and we're so excited to serve as a critical entry point for the teacher pipeline in our local area, where our students receive their associate's degrees and then transfer as a junior to their 4-year bachelor's programs. This is especially important because Ivy Tech, as a community college, serves a larger proportion of Pell Grant recipients, first-generation students, and minority students than our 4-year partners, which means that Ivy Tech Evansville is serving as an important supplier of minority teachers, which are in great need across the state. So I'm really excited about this work. In our program, our students complete their field placement hours in K-12 schools, and this is where they get a chance to get a feel for the profession by shadowing a teacher and participating in daily tasks, getting a chance to see what grade they want to teach, and so forth. And so as they go into these schools, they need to have professional clothing. Well, try to explain to 18-year-olds what professional clothing looks like, right? So one of the barriers that I've identified is that a lot of times students do not have the clothing that they need to wear to these field placements. And usually when that happens, I'm able to connect them with a campus resource or a community resource where they can get low cost or no cost professional wear. The problem is that that takes time, and that causes additional delays for our students who are in 8-week classes and have to get their field hours done as quickly as possible. And this is why I propose that we provide our education students with polo shirts, much like this one, okay? So I'm wearing mine because this is exactly what theirs will look like, except for theirs will be Ivy Tech green, and right here underneath the logo where it says Ivy Tech Community College, it will say Education Program. Now I think this will be an important need to fill 3 goals. First of all, it will eliminate the barrier for our students who cannot afford or do not have professional wear. They don't have to worry about it being too short, too low, and everyone gets the same one, and that'll eliminate the barrier right from the very first day. Students will have access to those polos. Second of all, it's going to increase the visibility of the program in our local area. When students are out at schools, administrators and staff are going to be able to identify those are our students. And I think this is going to help with the visibility in general to let people in the community know, look, we have an education program. We're training teachers. This is the work we're doing, and we're proud of it. And finally, I think it's going to help students be encouraged to participate in a professional community. there's just something about putting on the outfit that makes you feel like you're a part of something. And just like other disciplines like nursing, I want our students to also have the clothing of a professional practice. So this particular proposal would provide 100 polos. They're $16 each. I've had this one for 3 years. I've washed it incessantly. It still keeps its shape. And so students will be able to wear their polos for the 2 or 3 years that they're in the program. They'll wear it to their field placements, but they also can wear it to other activities. These are my students, aren't they cute? They're excited, they're passionate. Here you can see students doing their field placements at Highland Elementary. Here are students at Evans Elementary reading books to first graders. And finally, you can see students at the literacy fair that they organized, the Children's Literacy Fair this spring. Wouldn't it be nice if they were all wearing matching polos? Can you imagine the visibility of that and how great it's going to feel for them to be a member of that professional practice? So I hope that you'll join me. You know our local area really needs teachers, so let's work together to remove barriers for them. Thank you.
Questions? Oh, are there any questions for Andrea? You explained it really well. Oh, Kathy, go ahead.
No, she explained it really well, but are these polos then something that these students will keep?
Yes.
Or do you rotate them back through for new students?
I think they should keep them.
Keep them.
Yes, thank you. Great question.
And is it one polo per student?
Yes. Yes. But I think we could talk about her doing more.
How many days a week they're in training or at schools, how many would they need?
Well, depending on how many, I mean, it depends on what their schedule, it depends on what their schedule looks like, right?
Okay.
So they, you know, some of them do twice a week, some do 3, some do once a week, so it just depends on the student. That's a great question. Yes?
I like the idea of Ivy Tech's name being out there in the community too, because those students can say, well, you know, they may say, oh, my cousin, or my brother or sister.
Yes.
And it gives them that connection to Ivy Tech, which is what we want.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Quick question. Would this funding get them through like an entire school year, and then you still have any left over for the next enrollment, or how would that work so that kids coming in 2 years are like, well, they all got t-shirts and now we go?
Well, we're looking for funding to secure it for future years. But this time to get it, we have so many students that need them this year that it's too big of an ask for my program in
It's
school.
time to start up and
To get us started, yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Yes, great question.
How much are they?
They're $16 a piece.
So, I mean, you know, yeah.
Except like the larger sizes are a little bit more, so that's how we account for that. Thank you all for your questions.
And for anybody who's watching the live feed, you can ask questions in that chat box, and Tyler is hanging out by the computer back there, and he'll shout them out for you. We'll answer them to the microphone, so just so you know. All right. Our next proposal is the Ivy Style program presented by Carrie Feltis, Jada Kanzler, and Alex Hoffman with a request of $2,800. And I will let you hit your own space bar there so you can present in your, there you go.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, and I'm so excited to follow Dr. Jefferson because our proposal is in some way in line with your proposal. So great, great segue. My name is Carrie, and Carrie Feltis, and I work as a career coach in the CareerLink team. And my role is working with students in public affairs and social services, and also art sciences and education.
And I am Jada Kanzler, also a career coach, and I work with the Schools of Health Sciences and also the School of Advanced Manufacturing.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Hoffman and I oversee the Schools of Business, Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Nursing and Information Technology.
We are a small but mighty team, and we support all students at Ivy Tech with their career development. Last year, we presented a proposal for Ivy Success, and we were so very, very grateful for that award. This year, we are submitting a proposal for Ivy Style, and Alex is going to tell you a little bit more about the motivation behind that proposal.
Yeah, so we were so fortunate to do Ivy Success last spring. We actually had 38 students complete the program and receive the Padfolios and the professional grade pins, with 12 receiving the Ivy Success Platinum package, which was a $100 gift certificate for interview clothing and a $50 gift certificate for gas. And one thing we saw from that program, one, just the positive impact it made on our students. Several ended up getting internships and jobs after the fact, but then also just a great need for interview clothing. And that's what kind of prompted us to create the proposal for Ivy Style.
So to justify our Ivy Style proposal, CareerLink did a survey in October of 22. I gotta have my paper because I got numbers on here. So, back in October of 2022, on a scale from 1 to 5, how does appearance impact first impressions and interview performance? 4.25 was the average score on that. Also, 90% of employers said having a professional appearance is an important aspect of successfully navigating the hiring process at their company. So beyond the data, approximately 7% of Indiana State University's students use their career clothing closet each semester. If these results could be duplicated at Ivy Tech, we have the potential to impact over 150 plus students per semester. So our plan, with the student experience, we plan to work with students one-on-one, which kind of gives them a bonus career coaching session, because we'll talk with them about what we have in our Ivy Style, but then we'll also be able to coach the students as well. And we also want to give the students like a boutique feel, and so that's what we feel like we can do with this money. The administrative side, we would have stock the style donation, and that's where you all would come in. We would promote this to Ivy Tech employees and select audiences, and we would have donation guidelines to meet quality standards and needs. And then we would also collaborate with other departments and student organizations in needing service hours.
So then, how can you help? In the packet there, we are asking for $2,800, and we kind of have a breakdown of what we would be using with that money. But some of the highlighted items are decorations, just to make the space warm and inviting. Dry cleaning gift certificates of $10, plastic storage bin, a privacy screen if a student would like to try on some outfits, racks for hanging clothing, signage, and style guides.
And other colleges near and far have launched this sort of program and been incredibly successful. We've had a lot of contact with Indiana State University, the folks leading up their career clothing closet. We happen to have an ISU alum, and Alex. So she has reached out to them and done some research about their success, which is why we were able to quote those numbers of the students who have actually utilized their resource every semester. We have a large university in the southern part of the United States that also hosts a career clothing closet. And we would love, with your support this evening, to be able to launch Ivy Tech Community College Evansville's version of that in the form of Ivy Style. So we welcome any questions that you have, and we'll be happy to answer those for you.
So the clothes that you populate the Ivy Style with are what, gently used donation clothes? Is that how you're gonna do it?
Yes, so in line with a lot of consignment shops that have very strict guidelines about what they're seeking and what they're accepting, we would sort of use that as a model to establish very firm but very welcoming guidelines, but realizing that we couldn't possibly accept everything. Our plan is to have sort of a donation ticket, so when somebody is bringing in a donation, we would ask them during those Stock the Style donation days. We have set times throughout the year that we would have to post those days. But with the donation tickets, it would sort of prompt folks to be able to record on those tickets exactly what they are donating. And if, jean shorts aren't on that little card, we don't want those jean shorts, right, for our Ivy Style closet. So that's sort of the guidelines that we have in mind, mimicking, if you will, a consignment shop and how they have those set guidelines. And a key in that too is also diversity. We want to make sure, although we think of professional business attire perhaps being a jacket and some nice slacks, we also want to entertain the fact that a nice pair of khakis and a professional polo could be very appropriate for certain areas that might be going into a job interview. So thank you so much for that question.
We also plan to, besides that, we also plan to have shoes, accessories, because we feel like those types of things build people's confidence when they are going to interviews and things like that. So we are also going to accept those types of things too. that would be all three of us, but I'll let Carrie go ahead and elaborate on that. That would be us, and then we would hopefully have some student help and,
Work study and.
yeah, work study.
Yes, so I'll be honest, this has been something I've wanted to do for the 21 years that I've been on campus, and it's always been a show of one. We now have 3 folks in our office, and what we're doing is we are tying the actual visit to Ivy Style to a career coaching appointment. So it's kind of, we get them in because we have something good we want to share. And by the way, do you need some interview assistance? Do you need some help with your employability skills? Maybe you've already started that new job, but let's talk about how we keep a job. So we are selfishly getting our agenda woven in there because we want to do the coaching that we love to do. And this is sort of a way to entice them to visit our space. We do, hopefully, we'll be hiring a new student worker who starts on Wednesday, and by history, we've always had a student worker in our office to work and help with hours. And we've also communicated with other organizations on campus who have students who may be in need of service hours that they have to, engage in order to get some credit. So we would tap into those resources as well. We will limit the donation days to certain points in time because it's not a come in any day of the week. Now for the students, it will be come in anytime you have an appointment. So that speaks to the accessibility piece. When we have students who try to visit Evansville Christian Life Center, amazing organization, but they're open Wednesday and Thursday from 9:30 to 12:30. That's a limited accessibility for our students. They can schedule an appointment with us between 8 and 5, and of course we can come in early and stay late if we get permission from kiddos and dogs. We can come in early and stay late to help them out.
And you have a space secured for this?
So we are in the process of relocating on campus, and in our relocation, there is currently a storage area and also a conference room that we're changing into our career resources room for students. With the storage area, we also have some tall storage cabinets, and we've done some measuring and some estimating, and based on what we currently have in terms of our storage in room 108, it will fit in those storage cabinets in room 144, which is where we're moving. That leaves what was a storage closet, which is really nice size. It sounds like it's not, but it's a nice size space that we could organize the racks and the shelving as well as the privacy screen. Yes, thank you for those questions. Appreciate it. Please.
Another resource that you might want to think about.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with Camilla's Closet. It's a consignment store on the east side.
Sure.
They're one of the few that takes men's clothing,
Awesome.
and they have literally right now racks of slacks, dress shirts, sport coats, short sleeve shirts, racks.
Wide variety, it sounds
Wide
like. Yeah.
variety. And obviously, you're not going there to buy those things, but whenever you consign something, they will say to you, do you want these back or can we donate them?
Sure.
So I don't know where they donate, but if you could, someone could corner the market on their men's dress clothes, you could probably get them to maybe allocate those to you because of the purpose
Sure.
you have in mind.
Excellent. I really appreciate that tip. Please, somebody be writing that down because I will not remember. But yes, thank you for that tip. I appreciate that.
I mean, they're just racks and racks and they're all in great shape.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And even if this doesn't come through, which we really hope it does, that gives us a good referral point because that's what we do with students. We refer them to Evansville Christian Life Center. We talk about consignment shops. I mean, I shop there. Those are great places to go, right?
Right, and like I said, Camilla's is one of the few that has men's, and so someone
Excellent.
could go in there and probably get a dress outfit for less than $30.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for that
If they went in
tip.
there themselves.
Right.
But if you got the donated items, then that would be great.
Thank you for that idea. I appreciate it. Anyone else as we wrap up and turn it back over to Lisa? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate that.
All right. Next up, Stamp Your Passport Sustainable Development Goals presented by Vanessa Fritz. This proposal was submitted by Dr. Mary Ann Sellers. Request is $7,000. And Vanessa, I will give this to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna need to kind of hang out over here. So, yes, I am not Dr. Marian Sellers, but I am her dean, and so I offered to anyone in my school who couldn't be here to present this evening that I would stand in for them. So I'm gonna do my best to capture what she would want me to say, but know that a very detailed explanation is in your packet, okay? So, I'm gonna read just her words. This proposal for funding aims at expanding the international understanding of our students, faculty, and staff by providing activities on campus and on the international stage. Over the last few years, Ivy Tech Evansville has focused on international educational opportunities through study abroad, the Global Studies Certificate, and the Global Workforce Skills Certificate. Providing students with an international learning experience fills an important niche at the college, and the requests made in this proposal are focused on maintaining and expanding international learning opportunities. Some of the international events that are currently in the planning stage are outlined below, and there are 4. I'll be brief. The first one is Study Abroad, the Republic of Turkey. Scholarships will be awarded to student selected based on an essay that describes why the student would like to study abroad and how the experience will advance their academic goals. The cost of the program is approximately $5,000 for the 3-week journey and includes airfare, lodging, entrance fees, 2 meals a day, and tuition. Scholarships in the amount of $1,000 will be awarded to 6 students to offset the program cost. During the study abroad program, students will visit many of the historical, cultural, philosophical, and religious locations that are important to this region of the world. Page 2. Second event, an invited lecturer. During the spring semester, an invited lecturer will give a talk on the Republic of Turkey. Their aim is to identify a speaker who has expertise in one or more of the sustainability goals as outlined by the United Nations and can incorporate the goals into a lecture on Turkey. The Sustainable Development Goals, or Global Goals, are a collection of 17 interlinked objectives designed to serve as a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. Third event, international events on campus. Stamp Your Passport will remain a theme throughout the academic year, and students will be awarded a stamp on their Ivy Tech passport by attending international events. And last but not least, a global wellness event. Students, faculty, and staff will have an opportunity to participate in a wellness event that has a global theme. The virtual bike ride through Germany was very popular last academic year, and we hope to replicate the activity using Turkey as our focus country. It is exciting to learn more about our world, and we hope that you will support us as we work to provide our campus with international educational experiences. And I really cannot answer questions, so I hope you don't have any. But I promise you there's lots of detailed explanation in your packet.
I think there are about 6 students that they were looking to send, and maybe more than that this year if possible, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I could answer a question. Yes.
Well, I knew that was one you could get.
And I'm happy to pass something along to Dr. Marianne Sellers if you have something else.
And I'd like to add that the students do receive college credit for this. So this goes toward the completion of a certificate or degree. So there is wild benefit for this. The other option, the other piece that I would like to add to this is an incredible opportunity, and it's a matter of access. So we want to be sure that all of our students have the ability to have this experience regardless of means. And I know that the TNSIS, the organization in Tennessee that provides this opportunity, does waive the tuition for their institution, which then those credits transfer back to Ivy Tech. So Mary Ann's removed as many possible barriers as she can for those students to have the ability to have this fabulous experience.
How will the 6 students be selected?
Oh, I can answer this question. Through an essay they write as to why they want to study abroad.
They're also pursuing one of those 2 certificates.
Yes.
Anything else I can maybe answer? Well, thank you for your consideration.
All right. In your packets, because we've had a couple of programs that had sort of lengthy additional explanations, we're on page 16 if you are looking for where it is. So tonight we're talking about the adult education expansion. Nick Gathercole and Ivy Plus Career Link submitted this, and I'll be presenting because unfortunately a combination of illness and jury duty has struck their office. So I will do my best, as Vanessa did, and I can also record questions and report back to you if I can't answer them. So the request is for $10,000. And this is going to fund an expansion for the adult education program. They're looking for 4 specific areas that they're spending the funding, and 3 of those are, well, excuse me, it's not my program, sorry. The first one is going to be an online software that provides additional tutoring for students in the TABE testing. And the TABE testing is typically done with students who are completing their adult basic education program, oftentimes used with students who are going through our English language learners program to get them into the GED and HSE program. I hope I said that right. So that will be a portion of those funds. And then secondly would be GED Prep Solutions, and this is similar in the idea of tutoring for the GED test. They'll provide an online approach for students who need additional help to get ready for their testing. The third one is actually the cost of practice tests, and this is $6.99 per subject, 4 subjects for the GED. So once you put it all together, it comes out to 74 complete exams that they can test for. And then the fourth part is basically paying for the testing fees, which originally was what Circle of Ivy funded a few years ago, just to help cover the cost of those test fees. What we had learned at that time was that oftentimes students were afraid to actually take their exams because if they had to pay out of pocket, it was costly, and if they didn't pass, they couldn't do it again. So it was almost like a fear of just spending the money if it were to be wasted. And that's a quote with my 3 fingers over there. So that is the request. There's a budget on page 17 that kind of breaks this down if you need to see it. And I'm not sure if I can answer questions very well, but I will do my best. And if not, we will write them down and make sure that I send it back to you. Thank you. Are there any questions pertaining to this proposal? I was really good. All right. Yes, thank you. We'll move on to our next proposal. This is going to be on page 18, Pancakes and Ivy, presented by Marsha Jackson. You had me at pancakes, Marsha. Request for $3,281. And Marsha, I will let you take it away. Thank you.
So who doesn't like pancakes? We all do. As you know, I'm the Executive Director of Marketing and Communication here at Ivy Tech, and this is a marketing kind of event. We want our college to be well known in the community, but lots of times people come to us and they are totally unaware of the breadth of all the programs we offer. They haven't been on campus, they haven't seen what we look like. And there's been huge improvements on campus too recently. So we want to put our best foot forward, and we want to have a fun event where we can bring people to the college to learn more about this. And what's better during the winter time than ooey gooey pancakes and syrup And then we've got them here, they're having fun, and then we introduce them to the college. There are a lot of pieces of this that won't cost a dime. A career fair type of setup where we can have all of our programs represented, tours of the campus, the laboratory spaces opened up for people to see. I mean, if you go up to our Surge Tech area or our nursing labs or back into advanced manufacturing, every single time I've taken people back there, they're amazed. Like, oh, I had no idea. And there are things back there that I'm not even sure what they are, but they look very, very, very cool. So what we want to do, the goal of this is just to get people on campus, have fun, plus the younger kids, having them here, having a bounce house, something to keep them occupied while their parents are roaming the building. It's important for the younger kids to have a really good connection with Ivy Tech, because as they grow and they can say, oh, I've been there, I've been to a STEM camp, or I've been to Pancake Day, or whatever. We want to reach down as young as possible, but we really want to target the high school students and their parents. And also, which I didn't put in the proposal, counselors, high school counselors. Get them on campus on a Saturday and see what we have, just to augment what the College Connection coaches are doing already.
There's no cost to the person who's coming.
No.
Do you currently have a career fair admissions on campus?
We do, but it's Go Ivy Day, so they're already looking at coming to the college. This would be more of a program fair kind of thing, I misspoke earlier, where our program chairs and deans would be represented with information about each of the programs.
How would you communicate or promote this in the community?
A wide variety of ways. We have things already in place. Our standard is we have social media that we boost out to the 10 counties. We have news releases, media announcements, but we also want to work through the schools and our College Connection coaches. Anything else? Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Marcia. February 28th is National Pancake Day, by the way.
Oh.
How did she know that? That's what Google. I didn't just come up with that.
It's perfect things. All right, our next request is from Marcus Weatherford in the Lampkin Center for Student Success. The proposal is called Hygiene Hub, requesting $2,000. There you go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Marcus Weatherford. I'm the Director of Student Experience in the Lampkin Center. Within my role, I have the opportunity of working with several different types of students in our complete diverse population and serving them and removing barriers to their student success. Mainly with Ivy Cares that you supported through the Vine, as well as Gloria's Garden, which we're able to provide produce through the Vine to our students so they have more than just canned goods. And with the addition of Miranda to our group, we've seen an increase in the number of students that visit the Vine. But as she started working with those students, she started to notice that there's some deficiencies in what we can offer a student, mainly hygiene items. So we have over 50 visits an academic year, this past academic year, to the pantry. An estimated 55% of those students requested hygiene items specifically that we couldn't fulfill completely. We relied a lot on sample-sized items that we were able to get through donations or from students that had recently stayed at a hotel, that they were able to bring those to the Lampkin Center. We also do hygiene drives, but still are a little bit deficient in being able to provide everything that the student needs. Also, 11 students this past spring specifically were having issues with becoming unhoused. are moving into transitional housing where they didn't have all the hygiene products that they needed when they transitioned. So it would be very beneficial for us to have these full-size hygiene items to provide to students. How we help the student currently. So we utilize the Vine Pantry. We provide emergency assistance to these students that would need these resources, and we connect them to outside resources. Connecting to students to these outside resources sometimes take a lot of time. So students are going without these products when they need them until those outside resources can get them what they need. Where we want to be in the Lampkin Center is that stopgap. So we want to address the students' needs that come up that we can within the Lampkin Center. So when they leave the Lampkin Center, they have everything that they need before the community resource can take over for the student's future success. So our inspiration, well, I'll say my inspiration because I kind of threw Miranda into this, was Cloud Covered Streets, which services the unhoused population within Austin and Arizona and Fort Worth, Texas. They provide showers, laundry service, hygiene kits, and a change of clothes to the unhoused within that area. Obviously, we don't have the capacity to do that here. But in looking at what they have been doing, I started to think, what can we do here? And combine that with Miranda's ideas on what we can do within the Vine. And we came up with an idea to provide 100 hygiene kits to students to make sure that they're healthy and confident when they come here to Ivy Tech's campus, where they can wash off all of what's going on outside of campus when they come here and feel like any other student that is on our campus. They'll be distributed through the Lampkin Center, through your Vine Pantry, and the Wellness Center. And each kit will include soap, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo and conditioner, comb and a brush, and an allocated 60% of kits will also include feminine hygiene products, building upon the Period Poverty Initiative that you guys funded 2 years ago. So, any questions? Yes.
Is there a need for laundry detergent in these if students are needing to feel fresh and clean and washed away? Do they need detergent or like pods or anything like that? Is that useful?
Absolutely. So we have detergent currently in the pantry. However, those supplies are dwindling, so it would be very worthwhile to include those within this kit.
I would assume that transportation is also an issue, like if you were to provide gift cards or something for them to go and purchase their needs, this is just more convenient, but also to eliminate that barrier as well as far as them having to go out and get it.
Transportation would be amazing. We are looking at funding for utilizing other sources to provide that to students, especially gas gift cards for students, especially our nursing students who are having to go to clinicals and really don't have the funds to be able to do that. Maybe they're traveling from Tell City and then have to go to Gateway. So that would be a huge help for these students as well.
Marcus?
Yes.
Like this type of program, like partnering with maybe like with the churches around this area as a ministry, like maybe they have, Sunday soap day that, that you ask them as part of their ministry, make our Sunday shampoo day, that they would help do it for you in addition to this. Have we ever thought of doing that reach? The area churches are around the Ivy Tech base.
We have worked with area churches, but that's a great idea. We have not considered that. But I think it would be a huge opportunity for Lampkin Center to partner further with local churches and community organizations in that way. Other questions? I think I have a minute left if you have more. All right.
Oh,
real
Oh,
quick.
yes.
So what is the most convenient way to get detergent to you guys? Do people prefer pods? Do they prefer liquids? Like, what are they really coming there for clothing?
I will defer to Miranda because she's actively working with these students more often than I am.
Right now, we have detergent in powder, and we were able to distribute that in a larger quantity to students because we could actually put those in Ziploc bags for a longer period of time where they can use those and it goes further. With the liquid, like larger quantities like that, I would give to like families, so students that say they have multiple children, they have a lot of people in the household, but for one person households, I noticed that the powder, we were able to help more students.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Last year, you guys taught us that buying canned goods with the pop tops is really convenient because they don't have a lot of times they won't have a can opener. So I only, I make sure when I bring stuff, it has the pop tops on it. So I think those questions really help us serve the closet better.
Absolutely, and remember, Pop Tops and Ziploc bagged items are preferred for our students so they can snack on that stuff all throughout the day. I think that's it. Other questions? All right, then I'll hand it back over to Lisa. I'm still in my notes first.
Oh, I was like, why are you following me, Marcus?
Best friends.
I know, so true. Okay. Our last presentation for this evening is Building Belonging and Community for General Studies Students, presented by Dr. Chris Davis with a request of $1,920. Dr. Davis, I will let you take it away. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here this evening. Did you say I could get the space bar?
Yes, yeah.
Well, thank you all for being here this evening and for your consideration. As Lisa said, I'm Dr. Chris Davis. I'm returning to Ivy Tech after 2 years, and this starts my 11th year here at Ivy Tech. If you take my past experience and put it together with this. This fall, I am embarking on year 29 of teaching. Don't do the math because that just makes me really old. You know what I mean? But in the fall of '94, I entered my first classroom. It was middle school in the morning and high school in the afternoon. And in those 29 years, I've had the privilege of teaching middle school students, high school students, undergraduate students, and graduate students all the way through the doctorate level. And I can tell you one thing I've learned. They all need to feel valued and supported. They all need to feel like they belong somewhere. Some of you probably have heard of this guy, Abraham Maslow. He did a lot of research in the 20th century, and Maslow developed what he called his hierarchy of needs. And at the bottom rung of that was basic needs had to be met. And I've heard a lot of that tonight. We're feeding them, we're clothing them, we're providing hygiene products. But that's the bottom rung. But if you go up a rung or two on that hierarchy of needs, it is a sense of belonging. It's a sense of being valued and supported and safe, and they have somewhere to land. We also do that here at Ivy Tech. And if students don't get that, people in general don't perceive that, they're very unlikely to reach their full potential. They're probably not going to reach that highest level, which is self-actualization. And I represent, as the Department Chair of General Studies and Liberal Arts here at Ivy Tech, this is a new position, so I'm trying to find my way around right now. In my spare time, I teach English, so I am still in the classroom. That was one of my requests, that I could stay in the classroom just a little bit, because I like to stay in touch with the students. But I started here back in 2012 as an academic advisor. I came out of the K through 12 world, and I came here as an academic advisor, and then within a year I shifted into the teaching role again, and immediately I was the General Studies and Liberal Arts advisor because of my English background, and I still advise a lot of those students in my current role. And one of the things that I find when I talk to those students is, first of all, they're very apologetic because they're General Studies. They don't know what there's to do. They don't know where they belong. And I want to show you this quote. This is from, I don't know if you can see that, this is from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a little place called MIT. They have a wonderful website called Teaching and Learning Lab. And here's a quote from that website. Evidence has shown that in certain contexts, a student's sense of belonging improves academic outcomes increases continuing enrollment, and is protective for mental health. I think that last one's probably, that should really come first, because unless they have that mental health piece, they're probably not going to get the other two pieces. So what I'm proposing is that we start to build a culture of belonging for those general studies students here at Ivy Tech, and I'd like to start with 4 events here on campus. And as you all know, feed them and they will come. Okay, we're going back to Maslow. They probably need some food. Pizza, Subway, the things that kids like and we all like. Let's get in the commons and let's get food out there. Let's get some speakers out there. Let's get some of these other offices, student support out there. Let's get academic advisors out there. Let's get maybe some community members out there, because a lot of times what I hear from community members is, we would love to hire your students, and general studies is a wonderful major. I hear that out there in the corporate world. I have a lot of friends in the corporate world. I talk to them every chance I get. A lot of acquaintances in the corporate world, and they say, we can't teach them those skills. You know, how to communicate, how to think outside the box, you know, how to value others, you know, and we don't have the time for that. So if we could connect these students with people out in the community here on campus, feed them, and then kind of slip that other stuff in there, I bet we'd be shocked at how many connections could be made. And also, hey, there's an academic advisor. Courses just open for the next semester. Let's do a little advising in there, you know. And maybe they're thinking about another area. Maybe they're thinking, you know, maybe I'm interested in business, or maybe I'm interested in technology or education or whatever. Let's get you with somebody from that department as well, and they can have a talk with you while you're eating over lunch. You know, there's a lot of research out there that indicates if students connect with just one person on campus, and that's not just faculty, it could be somebody on the staff side, it could be anybody on campus, one person. I'm not talking 10 or 20, I'm talking one person. If they make that meaningful connection, somebody they can go to that values them, that supports them, guess what? They are twice as likely to succeed. Twice as likely. And I think a lot of our culture centers around food, so let's feed them. So that's just one thing. And also, some of you may be shocked at this. How many of our students, when I talk to them, they're ready to graduate, and I say, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? I'd love to go on to a 4-year school. Well, we have 2 wonderful schools here in Evansville, USI and University of Evansville. Oh, I could never go there. I could never go on those campuses. And these are many times students who are honor students. They don't see themselves like that. They maybe struggled in high school, but here they're on the honor roll. They're in Phi Theta Kappa. You know, they're some of our best students. I couldn't go to USI. I couldn't go to the University of Evansville. So I'm proposing we do 2 outings, that we take some of these students over to the 4-year schools. Let's buy them lunch in the commons. Let's get them connected with people in their admissions and their advising programs and programs that they're interested in. And let's show them that it's not as scary as they think. And I think our 4-year schools would be very happy that we would do that. And I would say they'd help. Also, I'm proposing that we buy some tickets to at least one event. Maybe it's a play, maybe it's a sporting event on campus while we're there, and that they can kind of be involved in student life while they're on that campus. And I bet we'd be shocked at how much connections that we can make. So connecting them with the community, connecting them with people on our campus, and connecting them with our 4-year partners out there in the community. And I think if we just start to do that, we can start to create this culture of belonging for a segment of our student population. By the way, general studies, there are over 500 students on this campus who are coded as general studies. So if you want an impact, there's an impact right there. We could be far-reaching here just with sheer numbers. And so we could take that segment that's often disenfranchised, often first generation. They don't know what this college thing is about, but they've heard that, you know what, an education makes a difference. And I just happen to believe it does. I'm still that person who believes in education, even if it's general studies, because I think that's a great major. I share with my students, I have a Master of Arts in Liberal Studies. I'm that guy, you know what I mean? And here I am, and I can show them that I'm that guy also who reinvented myself at a community college. I did that many years ago. And I'm proof that you can do those things. So I want to stand as an example to them, but I also want them to see it's not just me talking, it's a lot of other people who value them and support them, and that they do belong somewhere. Do you have any questions? Yes?
I do have a comment. When you talk about the sense of belonging, so you have 500 or so
it is possible for these students to take classes and never realize there's another student in their classes that is a general studies major. They don't have a cohort. So in a sense, I mean, they may kind of, in that they might, but often in human services or welding, automotive, those students, by the time they get to their second or third semester, are seeing the same students over and over. They're their buddies or their friends, and that's those people on campus that keep them going. It's very difficult to cohort these students. So this is going to go a long way for us to be able to have them bond. They know they have a program, they have a degree, they have others that they can hopefully see on a USI or UB. So I think that sense of belonging is so critical. That's why we see our students with 45 credits finishing, because they're there with their friends and they want to finish with their friends. And these students, some of our best students, don't have that ability.
No, they don't. So, and I say that connecting piece, and Kelly hit on this. A lot of times it's connecting with just another student. Having somebody on that campus. One of the saddest things I've heard this from more than one student. They'll come into my office and they'll say, I come here and I don't talk to anybody. From the time I get here till the time I leave, I just come here, I go to class, and I don't connect with anybody. That is sad. I think this is not only it's an opportunity, it's really, I think, our duty to try to help them make those connections, on many levels. Anything else? Well, thank you very much.
All right, so that was our, yes, Sharon.
I just want to compliment the people that present tonight. I've had the privilege to sit on grant committees for other organizations, and it's quite impressive here at Ivy Tech. Your commitment and passion, if our community was aware of it, I mean, I am impressed. My hat's off to you.
Yeah. I was actually just going to say the same thing because it's so inspiring to see our faculty and staff and how committed they are to our students. And I feel like we had really a theme of belonging tonight. And I feel like it's stretching kind of across all of our areas, which I think is wonderful for our students, and that there are so many people making an effort to pull that forward for them in all these different areas. So it's really wonderful. I always feel so proud of our team when we get to do events like this and hear them speak. So the time has come. Steve, will you please unlock the voting?
Already done.
Already done. Okay.
I voted 12 times myself.
I will filter those out.
Early and
So this QR code here, if you're familiar with QR codes and you already know how you'd like to vote, you can scan this and then you can just cast your vote through your phone and you're done. If you need some time to reflect, that's fine. We'll leave this voting link open until Saturday at noon, because that's when I can guarantee that I will shut it off. So, also, if the phone voting is not your style, that's all right. You can also go, there's an email that I sent to all of our members, and it has an actual clickable link in the email, so you can just click there and then you cast your votes that way. Do you have questions?
I have a question. It's saying that they need permission.
Yes, yeah, it's saying the
Mine here
QR
this
code needs
time.
permission.
I did it the first time, said need permission, second time, or try again.
Marcia said try again.
Okay.
Says
Gotta do it twice according to Marcia.
That might work.
Gotta do it twice.
Mine says I need permission, but maybe I'll
Try it again,
Try
turn it
again.
back out, or refresh and see if it
It's
goes.
an IT solution, it's reboot.
Yeah, it worked when I trusted it, so. All right.
My question was this, and you may have already answered it, so I apologize. So that,
Yeah.
do we know how many votes we have? Will we?
I'll try to scan it again, maybe that's it.
Yes, so there's an email that will be going out later this evening.
Okay.
that specifies how many votes each member has. But the levels are, if you're giving us up to $100, then you have 1 vote. If you go from 101 to 250, you have 2 votes. And then from there, it goes up to $1,000, and $1,000 you have 4 votes. So I will send an email to each group so that they know which one they're in if you need a reminder. But thank you for asking that. I apologize for the issues with the QR code. I did not have them when I tested it, so I'm sorry. Yes?
The button is checked that says restrict to users in the Ivy Tech Community College and its trusted organization, and they would need to
Please
sign it.
uncheck that
I will
box.
do so.
Thank you. I'm so glad that Steve is at the computer right now.
And then are you wanting to collect email addresses?
Yep.
And you're wanting to charge everybody $29.95 per
Yes,
How do you think we fund
we'll
this?
add that
Dawn?
in the agreements. Yes.
I think for those that cannot get in, if you get on Ivy Tech's Wi-Fi, then it will let you in.
Or just have a leash on your team as well.
Thank you to all of our presenters. And the back page of your packet has my contact information, or the second to last page. So if you have questions or have any additional trouble with the voting, please feel free to contact me. I can take that manually for you if you need me to. And there's also a comment section on the bottom there, so if there's anything, not of the voting page, when you go in to vote, there's a comments box. Sorry. If you need to add anything, feel free. I feel like that was a great closing to our evening. Have a lovely night. Thank you, and bye.